And we're live, Beers and Buffalo Podcast, Season 7, Episode 9. Back at it again, getting ready for Week 6 of NFL football. We got a great show again today, Jeff. Unfortunately, coming off the Bills' first official loss of the season. I don't know why I said official, but the first loss of the season here at the hands of the New England Patriots. Tough kind of pill to swallow. I know me and you always pick the Bills every single week to win. It's not realistic, but
you pick against the Bills.
Occasionally. I think actually, did I pick against them week 1 with the Ravens? I think I did actually.
You might have.
I think I did.
You did.
All right. Well, you pick them every week.
I pick them 17-0 every year.
Every year, 17-0. So, I mean, hey, it's good to be optimistic about that. And you obviously want your team to do good, and you want them to go 17-0. Hasn't been done since the 72 Dolphins, I think it was. 72 Dolphins. So it would be nice, but not this year. The Bills are getting their first loss to the New England Patriots. But I want to get ahead of myself. Before we talk Bills, we are going to talk beer. And today I had brought us, and I'm going to switch over here, brought us a nice little tasty treat for the holiday season, the Halloween season, I should say. It is a caramel pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale from Southern Tier Brewing.
Yeah, you mentioned that I think last week. You said you were going to get you might have been off air, but you said we've had pumpkin before, and they have a caramel pumpkin. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of caramel, so hopefully this doesn't taste like butthole to me, but, you know.
See how easy this is to pour without a can, dude?
Yeah, well, because the cans are 16-ounce beers, and these are 12-ounce beers.
Yeah, but look, I got a little head on there. You don't got no head on yours. Head.
Well, these are a little warm, dude. You got warm beers.
You know what, though? I got them out of they have them in the display case I thought was cold, and it felt cold. Fine. I don't know. And then I tried to, put the glasses in the chest freezer, cool them up real quick, cool them down real quick. Didn't work at all. Didn't get frosted. Cool them up. Let's take a gander at this.
Smell the caramel right off the bat.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually pretty good. I was a little nervous because I'm not normally a pumpkin type of beer person. I don't really like pumpkin spiced anything. Well, I like pumpkin spiced lattes.
You Starbucks fanboy.
I like apple flavored stuff better than pumpkin flavored stuff. I think apple's just the superior flavor when it comes to stuff like
for
this,
beers and stuff.
So
I think the pumpkin definitely still comes through. It's like caramel in the front, and then it gets pumpkin-y as it dissipates there.
This is very good. I'm actually surprised I like this as much as I do.
I mean, 8.6% alcohol. It is definitely a higher one. What do they got here in their aromas here? Smooth, rich, luscious caramel. I got cinnamon, nutmeg, pie crust notes. I could probably get
any pie crust.
I can get that. I can get behind a pie crust.
That is probably the best part of a pumpkin pie.
It is the crust.
As long as it's cooked right, as long as it's not burnt, and it does not too crunchy. If it flakes apart when you bite into it, that's a good pie crust.
Oh, look at this is 2024. Why is this website not updated? It was pumpkin. It's Pumpkin Fest 2024 in Buffalo, New York's on there in 9/21. Okay, but that was last year. But
it's not doing us any good.
I mean, looking at the color though on this, though,
color's great.
It's good color. It's not too dark. It doesn't drink heavy like a stout either. If you know how we don't really like our stouts, it's too thick almost. This looks like a light beer, but it has a lot of flavor.
Yeah, it's great flavor. I'm actually really surprised I like this. Krista likes the ciders, the caramel. One of the caramel apple ones is one of her favorites. I think it's from, not even sure where it's from, but her caramel cider. I'm but I don't really like ciders, but this is better than that. And I actually think she'd like this.
I mean, definitely one of the. I like it a lot. I think if it was really a little colder, it could be better. That's probably what's let me down a little bit.
It's not even that warm. It's cold, but it's not.
It's slightly above
those other ones in the freezer while we're. I'll throw them in the freezer. Or
I'll put them in real quick.
All right. Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's really good. I actually think Krista would like this one. But while you're putting those in the freezer, I want to tell my kids make sure they're leaving our cat Raven alone. Give her space. Make sure your homework's done, because I know Emma didn't do it before I left. Welcome back. So, quick little shout out to get those kids to listen for once, because it's very few and far between.
All right, let's look at the rating scale here. Pumpkin, Southern Tier, Imperial Pumpkin Spout. All right, so last week was the Fat Orange Cat Brew Company, that brown ale. It was okay.
I'm 0 for 2 on my last couple beers. I got to step it up next week.
Going off can design not always is the best idea, but sometimes it does pay off.
I figured it was October 1st last week.
I know.
I figured, you know what? There's a can with a jack-o'-lantern, a cat, a black cat. I said, you know, this kind of makes sense for our Halloween season that just started last week. But
I'm gonna go. I don't want to cheat and look because I don't remember what I put for the pumpkin last year, and I don't want it to influence my decision now. I probably gave that higher than what I'm going to give it now. I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8.7.
Okay, I was close. I was at an 8.4. I actually think this is really good.
Yeah,
I actually think this is better than the standard pumpkin.
And I do have the standard pumpkin. Shout out to Wegmans for the build your own 6-pack. Which actually worked out to be cheaper to buy a 6-pack of pumpkins, 4 caramel, 2 regular, compared to a 4-pack of pumpkin. They were literally not cheap. It's the same price. So I got 2 extra beers for free, basically. All right, let's see what I
get 2 free. We like it. Yeah, what'd you get last year?
So last year,
8.6. I gave it a 7.8.
So you didn't like it.
I didn't like it last year.
Look at this, dude. 1 point. That's spot on, dude. Yeah. That's spot on.
Pretty good.
I thought I might have given it a 9 for some reason, but dude, that's awesome. So I will say they think the caramel does give it a little added kick to it. So I'm glad that I actually rated this a little bit higher than the pumpkin, which I actually do like pumpkin regular too, obviously, for the 8.6 rating and an 8.7 rating for the caramel. Good shit. All right. Let's get into some Bills talk here, folks. Like we were saying, Bills suffered their first loss of the season. New England Patriots, 20-23, divisional game, a game that we all knew would probably be close. I said they weren't going to cover the spread. I didn't think they would lose outright. Didn't think they were going to lose outright. And as much as I said they were going to cover the spread, I don't know why I never placed that bet. I just don't like betting the Bills, though, like money line spreads. I don't mind betting props for them, but I hate betting like money line and spreads on Bills games. I feel like I always jinx them. First half, all fumbles and penalties, both offensive struggled to maintain possession, resulting only 3 field goals being scored. Buffalo's opening drive ended in a forced fumble by New England. It was a fumble exchange with Allen and Cook, and I think Knox. It hit maybe Knox.
Yeah, they ran into Knox and they fumbled the ball. So that's like another one of those mistakes that normally doesn't happen by the Bills.
No, just kind of like a bonehead play, really. Like not aware.
It's almost as bad as the.
No, don't say the butt fumble.
It's almost. I was going to say butt fumble. Lamar Sanchez butt fumble.
I knew you were going to say that. Don't say that. It's not that bad.
Somebody ran into another player and fumbled the ball. It's the same thing.
Butt fumble.
The butt fumble is worse because you ran into like a 6'7" lineman right into his ass. I mean, obviously this wasn't anything like that, but if you think about it, that's what it reminded me of. You ran into your own player and fumbled the ball. Obviously not the same as the butt fumble, but it's similar.
Yeah. So Patriots ended up getting possession at the 47-yard line, but then, a couple plays later, Shaq Thompson quickly forced a fumble for the Bills, recovered by Terrell Bernard. But even though we were gaining possession there, the next drive was hindered by 2 illegal formation penalties, preventing them from capitalizing on their defensive takeaway. Bills would then fumble a second time near the end of the first quarter, giving New England a great field position with a field goal. So fumble, then penalties, then a fumble by us for a second time. Then we stop them a little bit, but they still get a field goal. Just kind of sloppy play a little bit here to start the game. Second quarter, not much more exciting. 2 more field goals, one by each team, making it a 6-3 Patriots lead going into halftime. So right off the bat, first half, not good. A lot of field goals being kicked. I titled this defensive struggles, and we'll still get into that later, but it was a low-scoring game at that point. Just a lot of mistakes. This was more of the mistakes part of the game, right? Penalties, like you said. Turnovers, which hasn't really been a thing up until last week when Josh threw his first interception. Hasn't really been a thing, man. I don't know if this is just like a bad stretch we're going through here. I hope this isn't foreshadowing some things to come, but I think we really got to start cleaning up our act here offensively with these turnovers.
Absolutely. We can't be having these fumbles. I think that fumble with that involved Knox was kind of a fluke. It's just one of those one-off. Somebody was in the wrong position or wasn't paying attention. They didn't see him. They ran into him, whatever it was. But Keon Coleman had a fumble as well. And he got benched. He might have had that last week, but I know he got benched the first drive this past week. And Sean McDermott came out and said, yeah, like that was punishment basically because he had fumble issues going into this week. It's just one of those things. We're not seeing the best of the Bills. And up until this week, the Bills had still scored. They were averaging 33 points a game through weeks 1 through 4. We scored 20. We only lost by a field goal. If you get rid of those 3 turnovers, we probably win this game by 10 to 15. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those off weeks where the offense didn't click. We had some defensive struggles. We saw that play where Mac Jones was an inch away from being down for a sack for a loss of 15 yards.
Drake May.
Or who did I say?
Mac Jones. A couple of years ago, maybe.
I don't know why I'm thinking Mac Jones. But yeah, Drake May was like an inch away from being sacked.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
And then the fucking Diggs revenge game pisses me off beyond belief. But so Drake May was an inch away from being sacked for a loss of 15, and Diggs turned it into a gain of like 15 at that point.
Yeah.
It's that I think that was the defining moment of that game. And I said it last week. I said Drake May is Josh Allen light, and you kind of laughed at it. But Drake May looked like Josh Allen light last week.
They were very similar in the stat sheet, except for the turnovers, essentially. Yeah. But he played very efficient. Drake May.
And anytime he rolled out to his right, it looked like Josh Allen. Josh Allen can't stay in the pocket. He rolls right and makes that throw. If anybody makes that play that Drake May did, where he was an inch away from being sacked for a loss, it's Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you, Drake May is Josh Allen like, just like Justin Fields is Lamar Jackson like, in my opinion.
So the second half did start off better for both teams. Bills took their first and only lead of the game on a Curtis Samuel 6-yard receiving touchdown. Again, it's nice to see him getting more involved to start the season. He was basically a non-factor last year, and we had paid him that money. We thought he'd be more involved last year with the offense. He wasn't. They're finding ways to get him incorporated earlier this year. But our defense having trouble to contain Drake May. He was 22 of 30 this game, 273. No touchdowns, but there was no turnovers either. Next drive, Pats score on their first touchdown of the game, rushing touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson ended the game with a pair of TDs and only 14 yards rushing. So they kind of alternated their backs still between Gibson, Stevenson, and Henderson there. Henderson did lead all backs, and I still thought that they might lean on him more to start the game, but it was Stevenson to start the game. And Henderson to kind of finish the game off. But Henderson over the last couple of weeks has been more productive and has been more secure with the ball too, has had far less fumbles than Stevenson. Bills' run defense was a bit better than their pass defense this game. Maybe not the goal line defense, but they held the Pats to only 71 yards total on the ground. After an offensive PI call on Buffalo, Josh threw his second pick of the year. Now we have an interception in back-to-back weeks. Couple touchdowns for both teams to start the fourth, and it remained a close game till the end. Prater ties the score, 2:16 left. All the Bills need to do is stop Drake May one more time, and they've had trouble. They couldn't do it all game. We just want to give Allen a chance. I felt like this was a game. It was an Allen game overall, and I wish the defense could have made one more stop.
Yep.
Because I really think like if we did make the stop, Josh was winning that game.
100%.
There's no way. Home crowd behind you, played like shit for 3.5 quarters. Give him a chance to win the game. Defense kind of let us down, I think, at the end there.
I think the defense definitely let us down. And we were talking about this right before we went live. It kind of pisses me off that the Bills spent all these draft picks on defense this year. And we ran through the numbers. Like, out of the 5 or 6 draft picks that we had this year, 5 of them were defense, and 4 of them have actually not even played this year.
Yeah.
And Landon Jackson made his debut last week, and he's not even on the stat sheet. So I don't know if he just was on the team.
I think they just activated him in case there was an injury, or I don't know. They didn't play.
I didn't see anything on the stat sheet, so that tells me he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't
and if
play.
he did play, he didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Which, I thought for sure this dude's like 6'7" and like 220 or 240. He looked good. And
this would be a game, and this would be a good game to start him and activate him. Home game, the whiteout game, against a divisional opponent.
Yep.
Big game, but you're home. This is a good time to make an impact, right? Didn't see him, didn't hear his name at all on the stat sheet. And you alluded to this. I think the biggest play of the game, and it took all the way to the end here. 1st and 10 from the New England 29-yard. Drake May being chased out by Daquan Jones, rolling out to his right. He makes a crazy pass, falling to his knees. He was probably 6 inches from being down and being a sack. Makes the pass to Diggs. Diggs makes a guy miss, ends up getting like 12 yards on the play. 1st down, keeps the drive going. A couple plays later, May hits Keyshawn Boutte for a 19-yard pass. Now they're on the Buffalo side of the field. Couple plays later, runs, clock's eating out, burning our timeouts. Their kicker hits a 52-yarder, ices the game. Bills don't have any timeouts. They got 15 seconds after the kickoff.
Seconds, yep.
And I didn't like the last play there. They threw it to the middle of the field to Josh Palmer. Didn't make sense. I mean, I get it. We had a long shot to win that, but still throw something out or go underneath and at least try to pick up 15 yards on the ground. If Josh could scramble and then just heave one at that point, right? And that's ball game. Josh 7-7 against New England in his career right now.
And I don't think any of those are against Brady, right? Or maybe one season's against Brady, maybe two.
Maybe
I think 18 and 19 were against Brady. So
I thought that was interesting. I thought he was better than that, but
I thought so too.
No, dude, 7-7 against New England. He actually posted more rush yards than James Cook, 53-49. Pats played good, dude. They have a good coach now. They have a QB that's getting better each year. I still think our defense is suspect. I named this podcast struggling defense, or defensive struggles, but it's ironic because the offense was really lackluster as well. We didn't score 30, but it all hinges on this defense. If we don't get the turnovers, then we lose the game. Or if another team out turnovers us, we're not winning the game. We had time of possession in that game, but we had 3 turnovers and 11 penalties for 90 yards.
We don't even need the turnovers. We need to make stops. And I think that's the biggest issue is we couldn't make a stop against New England.
Yeah.
Diggs had 10 receptions for 146 yards. And I've seen this all over the internet. If Diggs would have had this mentality when he played for Buffalo, the Bills probably would have a Lombardi trophy right now. He focuses more on a revenge game against Buffalo than he did being good in Buffalo. Yeah, and I get it. He was obviously a diva. I don't know him personally, but I just feel like
you don't.
No, I have a friend that does. So, it's just one of those things where it's my friend loves Stephon Diggs. She has known him since he came to Buffalo and has been even after he went to Houston and then now in New England, she still keeps in contact with him. Obviously he's a good person because I trust her judgment of character, but just the on the field shit, it's just dude, you were such a diva here and you focus more on beating the Bills than you did on being better for the Bills. He should have had that catch against Kansas City in the playoffs a couple of years ago. They went right through his hands. If that was a revenge game for him, he would have caught that and ran that in for a touchdown. That's the kind of shit that just pisses me off. He played good against the Bills when he was on Houston last year, which we also lost 23-20 in the same week 5 last year.
Oh, interesting.
So the Bills lost, 2 years in a row to the Stephon Diggs team, 23-20. It just drives me nuts that I wish Diggs would have had that heart to be that good when he was on the Bills instead of focusing on his revenge.
Well, it's not even he's that good now. He hasn't had a great season. He was hurt last year, ACL. This was his best game of the season.
He still doesn't have a touchdown this year.
He still doesn't have a touchdown, but this was, 10 for 146. So he had a great game, but it's not like he's been good this year. I think he'll still be a middle of the pack receiver when it's all said and done this year, stat wise and everything.
Probably.
He ain't gonna be in the top echelon of receivers. So I think he still has his diva mentality. He's doing this because he knew who he was playing. He wanted to ball in front of the Bills.
100%.
Tell them that they made a mistake, which I don't think we did. So
no, we absolutely did not. Which Josh's MVP the year after he left shows.
I don't regret getting rid of Diggs at this point. Milano, we talked about it briefly before the podcast, gets hurt in the first half at some point. Shaq Thompson comes in, finishes the game with 4 tackles and a sack. Dude, I actually like Shaq Thompson. I thought that was a good pickup. A lot of people forgot about that. It was an early pickup in the offseason to just give us some depth at linebacker because we need it. Mm-hmm. We have essentially turning into Mr. Glass here. Matt Milano
2.0.
Matt Milano, if he's not off the team next year, I don't know when we're going to get rid of him because I understand like he's a fan favorite. The girls like him. Like he hasn't been productive in like 3 years, man. The injuries have just riddled this guy, and we keep him around because of what he could do. Yeah. But the few games that he's even been on the field, he hasn't been that much of a difference maker in recent years. And I think we have enough young talent that they're trying to groom here and get them ready. That's why I'm saying by the end of this year, I'm hoping all these draft picks that you were talking about pan out. I'm hoping what's his face, Landon Jackson pans out. Hope we are pass rushing in order here. And I think who didn't play either this week was Dorian Williams. Yeah. So like we had some key guys that were out or started and then got out of the game that we really needed back there. It's just been injury after injury, and it's been the story for the last 2 years.
It's been a story for the last 5 years at this point. But I actually like Dorian Williams in place of Matt Milano last year when he was coming back from that bicep injury that he sustained in preseason or OTAs, whatever it was. But I like Dorian Williams last year, and I didn't think Dorian Williams deserved to lose his starting job just because Matt Milano has all this potential of what he can do when he's healthy. The problem now is I'd rather see him go because he can't stay healthy. He's more of a liability for this team. We're giving reps to him over other players that could be, getting better as they progress by playing more. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm hurt. I got to leave it the first half." He tore his pec or hurt his pec the first or second week, and then he comes back and he hurts his pec again last week against New England. Like, I just don't understand what we're doing with this guy. It's Paul Posluszny 2.0. When he's on the field, he's great, but the problem is he's hurt too much, and I'm sick of dealing with it. I'd rather see Milano walk at this point than deal with his injury history.
I'm showing this real quick on the screen. This guy, we need more than one tackle. We need more than one tackle, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. If you're pressuring the quarterback, you're forcing him to make off balance throws. That wasn't the case this game because, dude was super efficient.
Yep.
So one tackle on the stat sheet isn't going to get it done. When Khalil Shakir has the same amount of tackles as you, it's not good.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Also, why is Tre'Davious White covering Stephon Diggs?
I was going to say the same thing. I wanted to get to Trey White. I didn't like Trey White last week, or actually, no, 2 weeks ago against Miami. Didn't like the way he played against Waddle. Waddle had a bigger game than he probably should have if we had an actual cornerback that knew what they were doing, a little bit younger, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, all of the above. I think the Bills need to really assess the other teams in the NFL before the trade deadline on November 4th and figure out if we can get a cornerback to replace Trey White.
We need to get somebody.
Something's got to happen. Trey White is well beyond his prime. There's a reason he didn't start any games between Baltimore and LA last year. He was on 2 teams in 1 season for a reason.
No.
I'm over it. I'm sick of watching this guy get burned. I understand he's a fan favorite. You got the Trey White Goalie Academy. That was great when he was good. He's not great anymore.
This is the case of another fan favorite, Mr. Glass again here. Like, he can't stay healthy, although he has been healthy this year.
He's healthy.
I mean, he did hurt. He started off the season hurt, actually.
That's true.
But again, a guy that I don't think is going to be reliable through the rest of this season. And he's a liability when he's going against talented wide receivers. You can't stick him on a team's number 1, dude. Diggs is a phenomenal route runner. And I was saying that during the game. Like, this is the one thing I do miss from him is the route running ability. And we still haven't found somebody to match that. Shakir is shifty, but he doesn't have the route running ability. He can't make guys miss like Diggs can make. And he just literally made Trey White looked like a fool on a bunch of plays, crossing him up. Dude, it was like basketball out there.
He made him look like he was a rookie. Like Trey White looked like a rookie against Diggs. And that's kind of what we miss. And, our safeties aren't the greatest either. DeMar Hamlin is slower than dog shit. It's frustrating to watch that we have this defensive minded coach. We spent 5 or 6 of our 2025 draft picks on defense. Our defense is still getting burned. The only upside that I have is I think our offense is going to be okay. I think our offense is going to they're going to overshadow the defense. They're going to cover up the mistakes that the defense is going to make. This was an extreme off week for the offense, and I'm really looking forward to after the bye, week 8, when we get Michael Hoyt back and Ogunjobi back on defense. When we brought Hoyt in, we signed him to a 3-year deal for a reason. Brandon Bean saw something in him that was like, we need this guy in.
Yeah.
And Sean McDermott was on the same page with him. So I'm really hoping that when Hoyt comes back, he kind of relieves Joey Bosa a little bit and they can kind of feed off of each other. Even if it's Joey Bosa subbing in for Hoyt, or if they put them both in at the same time on opposite ends.
They'll figure it out how they want to do.
We got to start pressuring quarterbacks in this league.
Yeah.
It didn't look good against the Jets. It didn't look good against the Ravens. It definitely didn't look good last week against the Patriots. It's one of those things where I'd like to see our defense get 3 or 4 sacks a game.
Yeah.
To really help this offense.
We are missing that. And again, that's why I call it defensive struggles. There's a lot of holes right now. I think the Bills have been skating by playing bad teams for the first 100%. 4 weeks. And I get it that the Ravens game, we didn't know they were going to be bad until after that game, but they have a worse defense than we do, and it was just a shootout of a game, really.
They were in 2-minute drill mode every single snap for the second half. They were down 15 points with 5 minutes left. They were in 2-minute drill mode every time they had the ball from the time that the second half kicked off.
Josh Allen playing down to his opponents maybe again here.
I don't even think it's that.
But I mean, he knows what Lamar's capable of, and I feel like, and there was a lot of talk in the media. It's Lamar, MVP versus the ex-MVP. And it's like, this is a heavyweight matchup. And there was a lot of publicity and hype for that game. This game, not so much. The Bills were expected to win. I think it was like an 80% or 75% win rate.
It was a 7.5 point spread.
And it was a 7.5 point spread. But I'm saying we weren't supposed to lose outright. No. We might not have covered, but we weren't supposed to lose outright that game. So I don't know, man. Not to say we take teams lightly, but I do feel like at times we do play down.
The Bills
that New England or the New Orleans game, we should have blown that team out. Again, 16.5 is crazy. I wouldn't have bet that spread either, but still, you would think at least 2 touchdowns we should have won by. Even 12 points is
Even 7.5 for a divisional game when the Patriots are better than the Jets and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
7.5%. I think I said that last week. I was like, I would take the plus 7.5 for the Patriots at that point.
It was a surprising line, especially after, I told you, the Patriots played well the week before. We won, but we didn't look great. So I was surprised to see a touchdown and a half as the spread, but it is what it is. All right, let's get into next week here. Bills are on the road again here. Not again, but on the road. Monday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons, who are 2-2, spread 4.5 points. Bills should cover this one, man. I'm thinking coming off a loss, get back on the...
Coming off a win. Coming off their bye week. Loss, win, loss,
win. No, the Bills are coming off a
Oh,
loss.
my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm saying the Bills are coming off a loss.
My bad.
Yeah, I'm thinking, hey, man, let's get something going here, right? The Falcons are not coming off a bye. They're coming off a win.
They had a bye last week.
No, they didn't. They beat the Commanders after they got blanked by the Panthers the week before.
They're 2-2. They had a bye last week.
Oh, then it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm like, look, because I saw it. It said they beat the Commanders. I thought that was... Are you sure?
No, look it up.
No, I'm confused
I'm pretty
now.
sure the Falcons had a bye last week.
Folks, and this is why we don't edit the podcast. We don't care.
This is all live. We're learning on the fly here. I'm 92% positive that 4 teams had a bye last week.
All right, I'm gonna just go to their schedule. I'm just going to their schedule here. Let's see when the official schedule on the Atlanta Falcons website. We're not gonna make things up here. We're gonna fact check ourselves sometimes. All right, let's see. Week 1, Week 2 Vikings, Week 3, Week 4
Week 5 bye.
You're right. Coming off a bye week, the Atlanta Falcons. However, the week before, beating the Commanders after they got blanked by the Panthers. So they got rest, which you would think is beneficial, but it's early in the season. I hate these early bye weeks. The
Bills have one next week.
The long run, I don't like that, but for them right now at this point in the season, it's probably a little bit of an advantage. I just think the Bills coming off a loss, getting embarrassed at home, the whiteout jersey, I think they cover the 4.5. Penix has looked a little bit inconsistent to start the year. There was talks about Kirk Cousins possibly getting back under the helm after that blowout loss they had to the Panthers.
And then he came in that game, I think.
He did, but I mean, like I'm saying, I thought maybe they thought maybe, hey, dude, are we starting this dude the next week type of thing? But then he bounces back, and he had a pretty good game against the Commanders. What was I going to say? Bijan had 181 all-purpose yards in that game against the Commanders. I'm scared of him. I think more so than Henry. Yes, Henry has our number, but I think Bijan's probably RB1 this year. Cook is probably RB1 this year. I'll say that. But the next guy down the list is Bijan Robinson. The number one guy the Bills have to be afraid of this year would be Bijan Robinson. Outside of anybody else, Saquon's having a down year. Derrick Henry, outside of beating up the fucking Bills, is having a down year. These guys that were dominant, Kyron Williams has kind of been average. Chase Brown hasn't not been doing anything because of no.
Please don't remind me.
I got him
3 fantasy leagues out of 6.
I think Bijan is RB probably 1 or 2 if you want to put Cook up there as 1A and 1B. Yeah. Drake London 8 for 110 in that week against the Commanders and a touchdown. Another solid weapon on offense. It's another week of we're back-to-back weeks facing a Drake.
Well, I really don't know how often that's going to happen, but put that in the scoregami of names that we're going to face back-to-back weeks. And I think Darnell Mooney's supposed to come back this week, so that's another offensive weapon for the Falcons.
Kyle Pitts is having kind of a resurgence year this year. I wouldn't call it anything crazy, but it's definitely been his best year since his rookie season.
Yeah.
So another guy you kind of got to worry about on the offense. You know who's on defense for them, who they have this year? This must have been an offseason pickup. Leonard Floyd. Remember we had him?
Oh, yeah, Leonard Floyd. I love Leonard Floyd.
Old man Floyd. He actually had 4 tackles and a half a sack in that game against the Commanders.
I wish we would have kept Leonard Floyd.
I did too.
I loved Leonard
They didn't want to
Floyd.
pay him. He wanted too much money. He's old. And that, you know what? I'm fine with that. I did like him. But if they couldn't work out the money had to make sense because, yes, he was coming off a good year. He played really good for the Bills that year. But, dude, I could sense a Von Miller-esque kind of happening. We pay this dude and then he's shit the next 2 years or something. It wouldn't have been longer than a 1 to 2 year deal. It would not have been longer than a 2 year deal. Hold on. It wouldn't have been longer than a 2 year deal. So I'm not worried about length of this contract. I'm worried that he balled out for the Bills because he was on the Bills. He wanted to be on this team and he wanted to get a contract and get paid. And I just feel like the next couple of years after that would have been letdowns if we signed him and it would have been a waste of money.
The reason Von Miller was a letdown, and I hate that people bring this up oh, Von Miller sucked. He only had 1 year with the Bills.
Well, he got hurt.
Fucking hurt.
He got hurt. But
that's the problem.
It don't matter.
That's the problem.
When you're old, shit happens a lot more frequently.
I understand that, but you can't hold it against somebody for wanting a contract after being good.
No, I'm not holding it against him for that. But I'm saying I don't want to pay the guy.
I think Von Miller, I actually think the Von Miller contract hurt overall. Just because they saw oh, this guy's older, but he's still coming off an MVP caliber season, won the Super Bowl MVP, yada, yada, yada. And then he comes in, gets hurt. It's well, shit. I think it's in their head. And I was well, we don't really want to sign guys that are a little bit older to a long-term deal because they might get hurt because they're a little bit older. Leonard Floyd didn't have any injury history previously. I don't think Von Miller did either. But Von Miller's was a serious injury, and I actually think they rushed him back too early. And the year that he came back, he was subpar, very subpar. And then the year after that, he started out okay and then got suspended for 4 games. So Von Miller was one of those guinea pigs where it's all right, we signed an older guy, we gave him a great contract, got hurt, got suspended, and now, what do we do? We're stuck with this contract because he was supposed to be better than he was. But I really liked Leonard Floyd. Coming from the Rams, Michael Hoyt also came from the Rams, so hopefully this isn't like fucking deja vu. But I really like Leonard Floyd in the Bills. I actually thought he was one of our bright spots on our defense a couple of years ago when he was on the team.
Atlanta has the best total yards against the defense. So defensively, best total yards against in the league, only giving up 259 per game. It's led by the number 1 pass defense and the 6th best third down defense. That threw me off. I didn't know that their pass D was that good this year.
They haven't faced Josh Allen yet.
Competition not as, we haven't had the greatest competition. So this is the first.
And they play the Commanders without Jaden Daniels.
I know. Mariota actually has been holding it down though.
Yeah.
So,
Jaden Daniels came back last week, but no Jaden Daniels. I think when they played the Falcons would have been a much different game. Because they only won by 7 points. If Jaden Daniels is in that game, I think the Commanders win that game against the Falcons.
Probably. It was a close game.
And the Falcons are probably going to be 1-3 instead of 2-2.
I'm going to say this is going to be a James Cook game here. We said last week or the week before was the Josh Allen game. We're going back to James Cook. They obviously have a good pass defense. I think let's rely back on James again and let the game come to us type of thing. Feed him early and often. Let's get a lead and let's have the play action kind of work its way throughout the game. But I'd give the guy 20 fucking carries this game, and hopefully he'll end with a buck on the ground, buck 20 on the ground, and a touchdown.
We paid him, run him into the ground at this point. Running backs besides Derrick Henry, besides Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I'm probably drawing Saquon Barkley. We're getting to the point where we're getting running backs out of college every 2 to 3 years, where you can use them for the 3 to 4 years, and this was the reason that running backs wanted to hold out and get paid better, was because we're using these running backs like you're going to get your rookie contract, and that's probably it. And running backs were like, well, we want a second contract. It's like, well, why? Because we can get you 3 years younger in the draft this year. Your phone is not your mouse. It's just one of those things. Cook got paid. He's guaranteed, I think, 24, 25, or 28 million this year, the next 2 years. Run him into the ground. Give him 20 to 30 carries a game, or 20 carries, give him 5 or 6 catches a game. I don't really care. Run him into the ground. Get the yardage out of him. Derrick Henry went through like 4 or 5 seasons where he carried the ball over 300 times, and he's still, minus the fumbling issues, he's still kind of elite. At 31, 32 years old.
No, I get it. This is kind of what I was alluding to here, why I'm afraid of Bijan. Cook's got him in the rushing yards, but look who their leading rusher and receiver is this year.
Yeah, I see that.
He's a one-man army out there. Penix, I think we can kind of take advantage of this.
This is one of those games where
I think our defense has to do something here.
They have to get at least 2 turnovers.
We really do. Our defense has to get
minimum.
Yeah. I'd be happy with just 1, but I think 2 minimum would be good. You're going into Atlanta, you're on the road, coming off a loss, and it's a primetime game too. I think the Bills, they need to show them, hey, we can play under the lights as well. Like last week was probably a fluke week. Let's get back on a train here, and get back to our winning ways. I think that was all I had for this game.
I just want to see more from the defense. I want to see more from Joey Bosa. Dorian Williams, I hope he's back this week.
I'm going to grab our beers while you keep
talking.
That's
fine. I hope Dorian Williams comes back and takes over for Matt Milano. I hope if Matt Milano could actually stay healthy, I think he makes the defense better when he's on the field. But our issue is he can't stay healthy. So hopefully Dorian Williams can come back and just take over that spot, because I thought he deserved to keep his starting job last year when Matt Milano was injured. And I really want to see more from this defense. I know even if we can, you can either have 2 turnovers or the Bills give up 4 big yardage plays. Which would you rather have? Which would you rather?
I want the turnover.
Which would you rather get rid of? 2 turnovers or 4 big yardage plays?
Wait, the Bills get 2 turnovers?
No.
Oh, the Bills give up 2 turnovers?
No, the Bills get 2 turnovers or give up.
How are you saying this, dude?
I'm saying
I don't want them to turn the ball over, and I don't want them to give up big plays.
No. They're either going to get 2 turnovers.
Oh, I want the 2 turnovers.
You want the 2 turnovers, even if that gives them the other.
Yes, I want the turnovers. I want the turnovers.
2 turnovers.
I want the turnovers.
And 4 big plays.
I want the turnovers.
Or no turnovers.
Well, it depends. If the big plays could result in points, I don't know. That's a loaded question. But regardless, I don't want either.
I think I'm asking that wrong.
I think you are too. But I just don't. I'd rather take the turnovers because we seem to play good when we get turnovers and we hold the other team to less than us. It was a weird scenario because last week, we had more turnovers than New England, but the penalties actually were a wash. They had about the same amount in yards. It was 10-11 with about 90 and 93. And we actually had 10 more minutes almost of possession. You're holding the ball 10 more minutes and you still lost that game is like, that's actually wild, dude.
That's a tough pill to swallow. We also had 8 or 10 turnovers before they had their first turnover. And a lot of people are saying it was because Sean Hockley was the head referee for that. And the last time we had Sean Hockley was that Eagles game that we should have won 2 years ago. So it's just one of those things where it's like the referee didn't help. Our own actual penalties didn't help. Our turnovers didn't help. The defense being lackluster didn't help. The offense not producing didn't help. It's just everything was just like a mix of just, and the fact that we only lost by 3 points, that's kind of my takeaway is like, we probably, any better team, I don't even know who the better teams are in this league this year. Now that Kansas City's 2-2.
Let's just say somebody like Detroit. They're walking us that game. We're probably losing.
That's what I mean.
We're probably losing by 16 to 20 points.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like if we played an actual good team that's probably going to make the playoffs, probably going to go far in the playoffs, we get walked by 15, 20 points, easy. Based off the turnovers, the lack of defense, the penalties that we had, the penalties that shouldn't have been penalties that were penalties, and the penalties that weren't called that should have been penalties based off the referee. It's just one of those. It was just a recipe for disaster last Sunday. And it just sucks that we had our whiteout jerseys for that game because that's leaving a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. They're like, don't ever bring the jerseys back. I'm just like, pump the fucking brakes.
It sucks. It really does suck that was that like the promo game. Like,
imagine if this were the red helmet game. People are like, "Oh, give me the red fucking helmet!" After they fucking cried for him for 15 years.
Unfortunately, the red helmet game will be a useless game this year.
Hopefully, we'll see what the Patriots can. We'll see what the Patriots can do.
I know. Well, now they got the tiebreaker on us.
Yeah, they're only a game behind right now,
and they got the tiebreakers.
So we don't play them till later in the season.
I know. So it'll be important. It's almost. I will leave on this note before we get in some other NFL news here. I think if I'd rather lose to them now or later in the season, I'd rather lose to them now.
Yep, 100%.
And then we'll get back on the train, and then the revenge game. I don't see Buffalo losing twice to any divisional opponent for as long as Josh is our quarterback. So we'll get it out of the way now. Beat them in the next meetup.
It just reminds me of the Miami game like 3 years ago when we lost week 3.
Snow game?
No, it was the Heat game. It was like week 2 or week 3, and it was 115 on their sideline, on the Bills sideline in the direct sun, and they saw the comparison. It was a 25-degree difference with Miami's players being in the shade. The Bills were on the road with their. I think they had.
It's messed up.
They might have blue uniforms on at that point to make it even worse. It's just people are like, that's what I want to remind people of is the Bills also lost like week 2 or week 3 against the Dolphins a couple of years ago. The Bills still went on to win the division. They still went on to make a playoff run. People need to stop panicking about this. I've seen.
I'm not. I'm not panicking at all.
But I've seen a lot of social media where the Bills fire McDermott, fire Brandon Beane. We need offensive weapons. Fuck this defense. Yada yada yada. We need to figure out this offense. We need a number 1 wide receiver. Like,
Oh, I saw the clickbait with the Bills might make a trade for AJ Brown. I'm like, no, they're not. Dude.
No, they won't.
Well, like, let's stop with these. Like, I get it. It's fun to come up with these,
we can't afford
fantasy stories.
We can't afford any trades for any number one wide receiver.
The number one comment was like, what are we paying with Monopoly money? Like,
yeah, exactly.
We don't have the cap space
money.
for
we don't
that.
have the cap space right now.
So
it's going to be a couple of years before we figure this out. And as long as Josh Allen is our quarterback, I trust this offense. James Cook has been an absolute stud.
Yeah,
Josh Allen is a fucking magician in the pocket, out of the pocket.
Not worried.
And you mentioned it before we go into the news. You mentioned this being a James Cook game, rushing wise. This is also going to be, I think, a Josh Allen rushing game because we haven't seen Josh Allen having to rush as much as he used to, or just not rushing as much as he used to.
Most he ran was last week, 50-something yards on the ground. So like,
but I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked to see Josh Allen push 80, 90 yards this week.
I can see him doing that. The one thing though is like they're not scripting as many like QB runs with him anymore. It's more of like they only have maybe a couple design runs each game, and then we'll give you the option.
Yes.
If you're rolling out and the play's a pass play, take off if you need to. But the designed run plays have definitely come down.
Yep.
There used to be 10 to 12 designed run plays a game. Now we're done doing that. Now it's pass, and run when you need to. So
I think we're going to see more design runs from Josh this week.
Okay. All right, let's get into some NFL news here. I'll start with the last Thursday night game. 49ers upset the Rams. OT 26-23. LA stopped on downs. They decided not to go for the tie, which I'm okay with. Mac Jones, I mean,
dude looked like an absolute stud.
He was running for his fucking life out there. Threw for 342, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Yeah.
342 from Mac Jones. I get it went to overtime, but still, that's incredible for a guy that people had kind of washed out and like, this guy's a bum. He'll be out of the NFL in a couple years, just like Daniel Jones. Like a change of scenery, change of coach, new surroundings. You got players around you now. You're on a winning team. Like the 49ers, although I still think they're a fake 4-1 team, they're 4-1 and they have a good team. So I think a lot of that change is sometimes good for the quarterback position.
I think the crazy part is they didn't have Ricky Pearsall, arguably their number one.
He's the number one
wide receiver. They didn't have
Juwan
Jennings. They didn't have George Kittle.
And Ayuk is still on IR. They're literally playing with Kendrick Bourne as their number one.
Who went absolutely fucking nutty.
Yeah, he had like 150 or something.
Unreal. But I liked Mac Jones when he was in New England, when he had an actual offensive coordinator. Right. The last year of Bill Belichick, they brought in a defensive coordinator to be his offensive coordinator, which, what are you thinking for that? But Mac Jones, he played good in his first or second year for the Patriots. And then he went to Jacksonville last year to back up Trevor Lawrence, and now he's on a team where they've had actual success. And Mike Shanahan is a genius with quarterbacks. So they figured out Brock Purdy, Mac Jones. Dan Orlovsky said 2 or 3 years ago, there's receipts on X if you want to go look them up. Dan Orlovsky said Mac Jones, when he was still on the Patriots, said if he was on the 49ers, he would be in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Which I think worked out because Mac Jones looked like an absolute stud last week.
No, he did.
He was playing on a bum leg. There was a couple times I thought he was coming out, and they showed the backup quarterback. I have no fucking clue what his name is, but they showed him on the sideline starting to warm up, and then Mac Jones just continues the rest of the game, wins that game. That was completely unexpected.
I am partially watching some of this Yankees and Toronto. I mean, we do have playoff baseball on. Yankees in an elimination game here against Toronto, down 1-0 going into the bottom of the third. So just an update there. All right, Broncos upsetting the Eagles 21-17, comeback victory. They scored 18 unanswered points, all in the fourth quarter. Eagles are no longer undefeated as well. Barkley, who was more effective in the past game, 6 rush attempts.
This doesn't
Six rush attempts. That's less than 2 rushes a quarter. That doesn't even make sense.
And this is why
backup. I think starting quarterbacks might get more rush attempts than that. Backup running backs get more rush attempts than that. That literally makes no sense for Saquon Barkley, who was your offensive player of the year last year.
Because AJ Brown put out a cryptic fucking tweet last week of being disrespected and not fucking, being wanted by his team. Yada, yada, yada. They forced him the fucking ball. Jalen Hurts isn't a throwing quarterback. Jalen Hurts isn't Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Joe Burrow. He's a run-first quarterback. The dude can squat 650 pounds. Which is why even if you have banned the tush push where someone can come push you from behind, that's still going to work for the Eagles because Jalen Hurts has fucking quads bigger than Saquon Barkley. The fact that they were like, well, AJ Brown's crying. Let's try to throw the ball more. We don't need to run the ball. We can throw the ball, and it fucking hurt them.
Yeah. So, I don't. Alluding to next week, I'm kind of our prop bets. I'm kind of banking on Saquon having another bad game, but there's going to be more of an explanation for that a little bit later. Texans mollywhopping the Lamarless Ravens 44-10. Ravens look like a dumpster fire right now. CJ Stroud finally had a game, 4 passing TDs, no interceptions. Not to say that I think CJ Stroud's going to do this every single week, but dude, where has this been? I get the fucking Texans don't have or the Ravens don't have a defense, and when I told you last week, no, the Texans are actually favored in this game. You're like, really? I'm like, dude, this is how bad their defense is.
Yeah.
You got a guy in CJ Stroud who has looked like dog shit for 4 weeks, come in and throw for I don't know how many yards, but 4 touchdowns, who hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
The Ravens are in serious trouble this year, and I don't want to count them out because once Lamar comes back, we'll see a little bit more.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
1-4.
I think that it's going to be tough, but I still think Pittsburgh wins that division. I saw something today that Ravens technically are favored still to win the division.
Yeah, they are.
Very slightly, but I got Pittsburgh winning that division, and I'll be honest with you, dude, I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland ended up coming back and passing the Baltimore as well. It just depends. It depends on if Dylan Gabriel pans out or Shador pans out and they get the quarterback situation fixed, because Cleveland's defense is the best defense. Maybe Steelers are up there too, but in that division, I think. So you got 2 of the better defensive teams, I think, have the more potential. And, since he's basically out, Burrow won't be back till the end of the year. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
I knew you're going to have that in your arsenal of notes over there.
I got it in the notes. Titans get their first win of the season on the road. Arizona 22-21. This game knocked out a lot of people in Survivor Pool. Cards are bad. Murray is overrated. I would never pick the Cards.
No, the Cards should not have lost that game.
DeMarcado, he let the ball go. I heard about it. The coach slapped him.
You know how many times I watched that fucking replay and he puts his hand out as he's crossing the goal line, then flips it. Why is that? Should not have been a fumble.
I never saw the replay. I want to watch it.
We'll watch it after the podcast. But I'm telling you, I'm watching this replay. He's at the 1 yard line, reaches his hand out, and then flips the ball as he's already, his arm and the ball are over the goal line before he flips it, and they ruled it a fumble. I'm like, that's not a fumble.
No.
He didn't drop it behind him at the 1 yard line.
It just depends if it broke the plane.
In my opinion, the replay that I saw, it broke the plane.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, though, because it should never get that close. If you're an NFL player, and they talked about this on Gilbert's podcast with Skip Bayless and Aqib Talib and those guys. They do the football one now this time of the year. And they were talking about it, and it was more so on that mistake happens in high school and college. You don't make that mistake in the pros, although we've seen it in the pros. That's a play that gets you benched for the rest of the game.
They teach that shit in Pee Wee football when you're fucking 7 or 8 years old. Hold on to the goddamn ball until you're.
Yeah, I get it. You think you're in, you think you're safe, but that's a game-changing play there, because they were saying they would have gone up by 3 scores at that time.
It would have been.
And that's basically game over, because
28-6 or something.
You're playing a team like the Titans, and they gave out the stats, and it was teams that have that kind of lead after that amount of time are 1,001 or whatever, and you're going against a bad team too. So
Ryan McMahon just hit a home run.
And there it is. That would have paid out good money, folks.
No idea who that is. That's why I would have paid out good money.
He's like the 8th hitter. All right, so despite losing the game 24-37, Bengals showed some life on offense last week against Detroit. They scored more than 10 points for the first time since week 2. Big news for Cleveland, though, and this is what we were talking about, trading Joe Flacco and a 6th to the Bengals for a 5th. We knew a trade we were probably going to get done. We thought Russ Wilson, maybe Jameis, somebody maybe from the Giants, because I think they believe in Jackson Dart right now. This might be the spark that they need on offense, because they are missing that quarterback. They have nothing on offense, and you have too much talent to be wasting Chase Higgins and Chase Brown on that offense to be throwing picks, scoring 10 points or less a game. It's just not. It looks terrible right now. So they're in desperate times. I heard something from Pat McAfee show that they were joking Flacco might retire by tomorrow. Because
he honestly might. He's starting this week too.
He's starting this week, but he thought they were saying like he went to Cleveland, he won a bunch of games that first year when he came off the couch, got him to the playoffs. He gets traded to Indy, played a couple games, whatever. Cleveland liked him so much they brought him back this year. Yep. He thought he would end up just being a mentor, maybe the 3rd or 4th stringer on this team. They throw him in there week 1 through 4 or 3, and he's probably at this point like, I'm done with this shit. I got beat up the first 3 games. Now I got to go to a team with a worse offensive line. So they were saying like, I'm going to the team with the worst offensive line in pro football. I'm 40 years old. What the fuck am I doing? So they're saying, dude, this guy might retire.
One of the memes that I saw about the Joe Flacco trade was Joe Flacco going from the Browns to the Bengals is elderly abuse.
It is.
It's like, because Joe Flacco is an elder when it comes to, pro football. Like 40 years old is like, you got to be really fucking special to be playing at 40 years old. And Joe Flacco, he had a great career in Baltimore, but he's kind of like fizzled out. He had like 5 or 6 good games with the Browns when he got pulled off of the Jets practice squad, aka his couch. And I'm still mad at him for winning comeback player of the year that year. But yeah, like I don't know what more Joe Flacco can do compared to Jake Browning, because that offensive line is so fucking bad.
Here's what he's going to do. He
might get sacked like 4 times and retire at halftime. Who's that Buffalo Bill that retired at halftime?
Vontae Davis.
Vontae Davis. He might pull a fucking Vontae Davis and be like, listen, I went to that 7 game, times. Did you go to that game?
I think I went to that game. I think I left at the half too. I think me and Vontae both left at the half.
You might have. Yeah, you guys walked out to the parking lot together.
They were getting blown out by I think it was the Colts, dude. I think we both left at the half.
Yeah, I think it was the Colts.
It was the Colts.
Yeah, because that was Vontae's old team.
Was that a season opener too? I think it was a season opener.
You're right. I think it was.
I went to that game with Tyler, and it was in one of those abnormally hot days where it was like almost 90 degrees, no coverage in the 300s, getting baked on. Yeah. We're getting beat downfield. I just looked at him. I'm like, you ready to go? He's like, yeah. We left at the half. Then we didn't get word that Vontae Davis also left at the half. Yep. We probably could have gave him a ride home.
You probably could have.
It was right?
It was an Uber. Game. You could have gave him a ride for free.
It was a bad game. But so yeah, I don't know. I think it does provide, at least initially, a spark for this first game. Now, he's already beaten the Packers once.
I know. You know what? I was going to say that.
He beat the Packers 2 times for 2 different teams in the same
3 weeks?
In 3 weeks? That'd be crazy,
That'd
dude.
be unreal.
I think he just gives them a spark anyways, because they do need change. Obviously, they're not carrying a 3rd quarterback on the team, which is crazy. I think it does give him a spark. Joe, look at the athleticism is not there, but how hard is it to check down to Chase Brown, which they should have been doing this whole time? Chase Brown.
I could check down to Chase Brown.
Chase Brown's a PPR machine last year. And I get it. It's Burrow, but still, like, you can check down to your running back. Browning was forcing balls to Jamar Chase, throwing deep balls every chance he can get.
But is that on Jake Browning?
It's Jake Browning, dude. Because there's more. You got to have that QB mentality where you have your first read, which is going to be Jamar.
Right. Okay, that's
but
fair.
You have to be able to make multiple reads.
That's fair.
And if he's your first read every time, that's fine. But there are plays where it's like, dude, if that's not open, don't force it. I get Jamar as a special receiver, and he can make that play probably 9 times out of 10. But don't have to chance it if you got guys running out of the flat, if you have screen passes, if you have Gesicki coming over the middle. Like, try to open it up so that makes that easier later in the game. But I felt like it's just been constant forcing to Jamar Chase, which the opposing teams know. And they're just going to be ready for it, despite how good that other receiver is. He's been locked up in previous weeks. I know he had a good game finally this week, but that's literally because
80-yard touchdown.
That's because they're literally forcing him the ball so much. But
and I think the Dolphins were in the showers at that point, or not the Dolphins. The Lions were in the showers at that point. They're like, this game's over. We're gonna go to the showers real quick, and then the Bengals were playing them fucking selves.
They've probably given up at that point. All right, last game before we get into some injuries. Jacksonville beating the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, 31-28. Bravo. We love another upset. A lot of upsets this week. Good game. Jags defense, pretty good. Both QBs were the leading rushers on their teams. That's a stat you'll never see again.
Yeah.
Look, I thought I think we both picked the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs were on the come up after the last week, and they got Worthy back. Although he wasn't even 100% healthy that game. He only had with 40-something yards. You said
42.
So I'm fine. I didn't know if they would cover the spread, but I thought they would win that game because honestly, Jacksonville hasn't looked terrible, and it was a home game for the Jags. Like I said, I thought it might be like a 3-point game. 2 to 3 point game. It was going to be close, and I didn't think they were going to win outright. So pleasantly surprised. Trevor Lawrence actually played well. 2 rushing touchdowns that game. They actually threw the ball a lot more this game. BTJ had probably his best game of the season, right? Brian Thomas, didn't he have a good game?
Yeah, he had 6 receptions for like 80 yards. Or something
I think is his best game of the year.
No touchdowns still. But
it's okay. They got to get him more involved. Travis Hunter had his best game offensively this year.
And defensively. He
played
great both sides of the ball.
Yep. And I think they're going to continue to figure that scenario out and how many snaps they're supposed to take. But the Chiefs, man, I am really shocked they lost that game. And it brings us back to like earlier, not being worried about the Bills losing games like this because other good teams around us have not been good this year. Yeah. The Ravens, who have beat us up in the past and have always been a juggernaut, are terrible. The Chiefs are starting off extremely slow this year. It is anybody's race here to the playoffs and to the eventual Super Bowl. You do have to worry about the NFC with the Lions, but I'm saying within the AFC, dude.
As of now, the Colts had the first round bye. If the playoffs started tomorrow, Colts have the first round bye. The Bills are the 2 seed.
Okay.
Because of divisional opponents.
Here's where I'm not worried. I think the Colts are a great story. There ain't no fucking way I believe the Colts, after being dog shit for so long, do some miracle Cinderella story this year.
With Daniel Jones.
They're a good team. I like what they're doing. I don't think that they're going to have the experience when they get to the playoffs. They're choking right away. So I'm not too worried about that team. And I think that the Bills... I'd rather play the Colts than I would the Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs, if that was the case. Yep. I don't care what the records look like. I would 9 times out of 10.
I don't want to play the Chiefs. Listen, the Bills.
You don't want to play the Chiefs at all.
The Bills.
You just hope they get beat by somebody else. At this
the Bills
point.
fans are like, oh, we want. You know what we should do? We should host the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
I don't care. I'll take the easiest way out as possible.
Absolutely, it's the last season of the stadium.
Nah, dude, fuck
the
that.
Chiefs in the AFC Championship. I've seen this all over fucking Twitter. All over Instagram, all over Facebook.
No way.
The Chiefs, we got to beat the Chiefs. No, fuck the Chiefs. I don't even care if the Chiefs make the fucking playoffs. I think the Broncos are better. I think the Chargers are better. Oakland or Las Vegas, they're a fucking lost cause.
They're so bad.
like I don't even think the Ravens win the
no, they're not.
This
they're
year.
not.
They
winning
might
the
make a playoff based off of Cleveland, and we'll see what Cincinnati can do. But I don't think they make the playoffs either.
Who are we missing? What division are we missing? AFC. What's the South?
South is Colts, Titans, Jags, and. So we got, that's all of them. And we're the other one. We're the East. You want to get into injury notes here? Yeah,
let's get some injuries. We got some pick'ems coming up here. Foreshadowing. We did have bad week last week on our pick'ems.
Horrible.
Just a tad foreshadow there. Some key injuries here. Marion Hampton, ankle, at least 4 weeks, IR'd. Huge loss for the Chargers after losing Najee. and then their number 2, who probably would have been their number 1. Now they're on to a couple third and fourth stringers here to try to carry them for the next couple weeks. Lamar still questionable with a hammy, but all reports are pointing he's probably not going to play because they have a bye week in week 7, so they're going to give him the extra rest, then the bye, and then he'll probably be back by week 8. Same with who else? Somebody else was like that too. Bucky Irvin, not looking good as well. Questionable, but probably won't suit up this week. Brenton Strange ends up on the IR. Tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Quad injury. Their number 1 tight end. They don't have Evan Ingram this year, so they're probably going to be with a guy that was literally working at Walmart a couple weeks ago. And then I just threw this one in there because, of course, I picked this guy up in your league because Boswell was on a bye, and I'm like, why is Spencer Schrader the number 1 kicker in fantasy football on waivers? I'll pick him up. He tore his ACL out for the season.
I picked him up in 4 fucking leagues.
Out for the season. He got me 2 points. At least he didn't blank me. But
my work league and my 2 cousins leagues and another in Yim's league.
Thanks, Schrader.
I picked him up in 4 fucking leagues out of 6.
Yeah.
And he blows his ACL out.
ACL season guy. Bye. See you later. Bye. So that recaps that. I mean, obviously there's some other minor injuries, but those are kind of what leading in week 5. All right. We're going to get into our pick'ems here. Let me switch over to our last week's. Let me switch this over.
By the way, we went before we get into our prop bets. We are 8-2 on the season, which is pretty fucking good. We went 6-0, 0-2, and now 2-0 again. So we're 8-2 on our fucking pick'ems. So if you're riding on our pick'ems for
you're probably making money actually.
Entertainment purposes only, you're making money.
Which is pretty incredible. We've been doing good on our pick'ems. Last week, I went 3-13. It's fucking hard to say that with a straight face. Jeff went 4-12. Combined 7-25. That's our worst individual and combined pick'ems we've ever had since we've been doing pick'ems in any season here, even dating back to King J on the pod. I don't think nobody's ever done that bad.
That's bad.
So horrible week last week. I did pick all home teams and almost all away teams won. Yep. Would you say only 3 home teams won?
Yeah, I think only 3 home teams won, which is probably your 3.
And I did get a couple on it's up there, but I did get a couple home teams that ended up pulling away. So, all right, let's get into this week's pick'ems here. We're going to start things off with the Thursday night game tomorrow, Philly at the Giants, and we'll circle back for our for our prop bets. You circled somebody already.
I picked Philadelphia.
Really?
I think Philadelphia, coming off that loss, they probably shouldn't have lost to the Broncos last week. They had a lead going into it, into the second half, and I just...
Divisional game here.
You're right, divisional game. I like the Giants. I thought more of the Giants last week. I picked the Giants last week. They ended up losing.
This might be a Giants plus 7.5 game. This a la Bills New England, 7.5. I'm money line. I think you're right. We got to go Philly on this one. Both teams lost last week. I got to go with the better team on paper and overall. We'll take the Eagles. All right, Sunday game starting off in the morning here in London.
9:30 a.m. again. I kind of like these 9:30 a.m.
I love them, dude. I love them. Just one game. That's all you need. Just one game to start the day.
I got two kids up before 7 a.m. every day. So it's like, you know what? 9:30 rolls around. You guys go do what you got to do. Daddy's going to put some football on.
Got some mimosas flowing. It's early, but I like it. We're going to
have the mimosas flowing on Friday. It's my anniversary on Friday. So
shout out to Jeff.
I'm off 10 years.
Congrats.
Which is a huge milestone.
It is, especially nowadays.
Nowadays, 10 years, and we're going to have some mimosas flowing.
Hey, we could have got tickets as low as 113, but that's not counting our plane.
Yeah, to go to New
lodging
York.
Or anything.
We could probably drive there cheaper than a plane.
No, not New York. London.
Sorry. London. My bad. London. I saw New York. I'm like, oh yeah, New York's home. We could drive to New York City. No, we can't drive to London.
So a game like this, there's no home team, obviously. You just go with the better team at this point. I'm taking Denver. Easy.
I'm taking Denver too. The Jets are the only winless team in the NFL, so this could be one of those
they'll get somebody. They
random upset.
It's like the Panthers last year. You're waiting for that game, and you want to pick the Panthers. I think the Jets are better than the Panthers were last year, though. So it is weird that they're 0-5 to start the season.
Yeah.
Could it be this week? Maybe because they're traveling. Both teams are traveling. So it could be. This is tricky.
I'm in a suicide pool with it was like 1,300 people, $25 buy-in. It was like 27,000 people. There's only 355 people left. I'm one of them. Right now, my pick is Denver. I'm probably going to change it just because I don't know if I trust this game.
This is a wild game here to bet on.
This is a very wild game.
It's hard to bet on the London games, too, because of travel, especially because these are two new teams. We saw Minnesota play back-to-back weeks. They're finally back in the United States.
Yep, on a bye week.
And on a bye week. So that's a tough one. All right, we're both taking Denver?
Yep.
All right, Arizona at Indy. Arizona probably shouldn't have lost last week.
They've lost 3 straight games by a last-second field goal. But I'm taking Indy on this one.
I'm going to take Indy.
Indy's home.
Indy's home, but hold on. What's the line here? 7.5. This could be another one where you could probably ride that. These 7.5s are. I don't
trust them.
I want to take fucking Arizona with the points.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't trust it.
Yeah, you're not covering that. Los Angeles Chargers at the Miami Dolphins. 3.5's a spread on this one. I'll go against the grain here. Give me the Dolphins at home.
No, I'm taking Chargers in this one.
Chargers should win this one. I wanted to pick one different here. I think at home, Miami, maybe they figure some things out here. New England at the Saints. Saints get their first win last week, too.
I got to take New England.
Yeah, I got to take New England, too. They just beat the Bills. They're riding high right now.
Drake May looks good, dude. Not Mac Jones, but Drake May looks good.
Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
This is a toss-up for me. Honestly, I want to take Pittsburgh, but I could see Cleveland winning this one.
This is going to be a very, very tough game. Look at the under-over, 38.5. That's how you know it's going to be a defensive game. Yeah. Probably top 5. Both these teams are top 5 defenses.
I'm taking Pittsburgh.
At home, coming off a bye. Tickets as low as $177. That's expensive for a Pittsburgh game.
It's Pittsburgh. It's a great stadium.
God. I'm going to go with you on that one, Pitt. Give me Pitt coming off the bye. Dallas at Carolina.
I'm already taking Dallas.
Yeah, here's the thing. When do we play Carolina? Next week or 2 weeks?
2 weeks. We got to bye next week.
Ooh. So 2 weeks Carolina coming off the bye. We got to beat ATL going into that game. Yeah, let me get Dallas this week. They mollywopped the Jets, guys. They literally Dak Prescott looked like OG Dak in that game. All right, Seattle at Jacksonville. Jacksonville, good game last week. Seattle losing the game last week. Is this a reverse? Do we do a bounce back for Seattle? Jacksonville loses here?
I'm taking Jacksonville home because Seattle's got to travel to the East Coast.
Good point, dude. Look at how close the spread is here. Jacksonville's only favored by 1.5. This is basically a wash game. Yeah.
Pick 'em.
Give me Jacksonville. I'm going to follow you on that one. Yeah. I like your logic on that, too. All right. The Rams at the Ravens. Can't pick the Ravens. They suck. I don't think Lamar's playing. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, no Lamar. I got to take the Rams.
Even if Lamar was playing, I still don't think they're playing.
I think I might change my Denver pick to the Rams for this pick 'em. I think I might change it.
That's the one you got to do, especially Lamar's not playing. You got till what? Kickoff to change it, right?
Yeah. It's like 12:59 or some shit.
Tennessee at Vegas. Battle of 2 dog shit teams here. This is how bad Vegas is. However, I want to pick them so bad.
I'm taking Vegas because they're home.
It literally should be just a.
Geno Smith should be a
Vegas
lot better
is 4.5
than playing this year. Brock Bowers should be back this week too.
Was he out last week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a big. All right, I'll go Vegas with you on that one. I don't think we're changing much there. All right, Cincy, Green Bay. If Flacco plays, I'm taking Cincy.
Well, Flacco is playing.
We don't know. This dude could retire tomorrow. Well, before the game starts.
Yeah, you're right. He's announced as the starter. I'm taking Green Bay in this one.
Bye week.
They're going to get they're coming off the bye week, and they're coming off of a Joe Flacco loss 3 weeks ago when he played for the Browns. I think Green Bay wins this one.
I'll take it with you. Green Bay. San Fran at Tampa. Ooh.
This would be a good game.
This is a really good game. And is this the night game?
No, it's not.
4 o'clock. God, I like Tampa on this one. Give me Tampa just because they're home.
Tampa as well.
I picked against San Fran like 3 times this year, and I've lost every time.
They're 4-1 for no reason.
All right, night game. Detroit, Kansas City. Probably game of the week on here.
On paper, it is.
On paper, game of the week.
Based off of last year's stats. I'm taking Detroit in this one, though.
I'm going to take Kansas.
Okay.
Give me KC, dude. They should have won last week, and I think they're going to bounce back. It's a home game. All right, Buffalo, Atlanta, Bills, bounce back game.
And then easy. Washington, Chicago for the second one in that game, which is fucking stupid.
Nobody's watching that.
Stop doing that shit.
You know what I like, though? At least put a dog shit game on because nobody's watching that when the Bills are on. Who are you taking in this one?
I'm taking Washington.
Oh, Jaden's back, isn't he?
Yep. That's the reason why they won last week.
Home team. Give me fuck it. Give me Chicago. No reason. No rhyme or reason. Give me Caleb Williams, baby. On a road. Prime time. I like it. I'll take Caleb Williams. Just because I needed to pick a couple more against you. I don't want to pick too many with you on that one. What do we got here? Oh, our Thursday night bet here, guys. So we talked about earlier in the NFL news, Saquon only had 6 rush attempts last week. He'll definitely get fed the ball. Here's the thing, guys. Everything is going towards Saquon, probably not revenge game, but like he's going against his old team. He hasn't played well this year. They're probably going to force feed him the ball because he didn't get shit last week going. Guys, I'm taking the under here. I'm taking the under Saquon rushing yards. It's under 86.5 rush yards. He's only hit that one time, and it was 88 in week 2. So averaging 50 yards a game running.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick him if he hasn't been consistent with this, dude. He's 30 yards under what he should be getting.
Yeah, right.
That's tough. I need to see it to believe it at this point. That team is it's got some weird turmoil. They don't know whether to feed it to AJ Brown or give it to Saquon or do tush pushes for fucking 55 yards. They don't know what they're doing.
You're right.
I think the team, although they're 4-1 and they're skating by here, mainly, I mean, I will say, Hurts has been perfect. No interceptions this year. They got other issues. And there's too many stars on the team, and they don't know who's going to be who. So Thursday night, short week, give me the under. I wanted to bet unders a lot this year on Thursday night games. You did. I'll take this.
And I'm going Cam Scatterbo over 50-plus rushing yards this year. It's an alternative spread, but I'm going Cam Scatterbo over 50 rushing yards. He's had that just about every game except for one this year, and he technically wasn't the starter at the time when he didn't have the 50-plus rushing yards. So I'm taking Cam Scatterbo over the 50-plus rushing yards this week.
Nice.
And the Sabres start tomorrow.
Home opener against the Rangers. Probably 7:00 game. Should be fun. We will see how bad the Sabres are going to be this year, or if they can hang with potentially a playoff team in the Rangers. This is kind of everybody's hopes and dreams are on game one here, just to see how they play. Like, if we lose and it's a close game and everybody plays well, it's fine. But if you get blown out game one, home opener, I don't think I'll be turning on a game until the playoffs, and it won't be the Sabres that I'll be
probably
watching.
Not. You're
so right. It'll be a make or break for the Sabres tomorrow night. All right, guys. What are we at here? An hour and 20 minutes? Not too shabby.
Not bad.
Not too shabby. That's where I like to be.
That's
where I like to be, that 15 to 20 minute, hour 15, hour 20 minute. Guys, if you stuck with us, I appreciate it. Jeff, where can they find us on social media?
They can find us at Beers and Buffalo on Instagram and Facebook, and they can find us on YouTube, where we're streaming right now, at Beers and Buffalo Pod on YouTube. We appreciate any follow, any subscriber for YouTube. Just we appreciate everybody that watches, listens on Spotify or Apple
podcast.
We're having fun this year.
We are.
We're having fun every year, and we appreciate everybody.
We're getting it done, guys. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm Mikey D.
I'm Jeff.
We out.
Go Bills.